Hey guys, in the video you're about to watch, I just want to let you guys know that for some reason audio is very, very low. I try my best to increase the audio, couldn't, so just bear with me through that video. Well, hopefully the rest of the videos that be coming out will have good audio, but I'm just letting you know that this video has just very, very quiet audio, and I plan to fix that here in the future. Hey guys, I'm going to be talking with not Isai. He's from 1910 Worship
Yeah,
Band, and today we're going to be talking about worship. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so the first question is what's it like being behind stage and like sitting down and talking to people about worship?
Yeah. So, man, being first of all, being part of 1910 Worship is incredible because this church has such an amazing heart for worship, and so on Sunday mornings or even on Wednesday nights, there's just this atmosphere that's already when people walk in, they're already ready to worship. So it's a very unique experience to go in and to just worship freely. Like a lot of times in some churches, you have to kind of work hard to get people just to kind of lay their distractions down and to enter into a state of worship. And I think this church does a really amazing job of teaching worship as a lifestyle and saying worship is not just singing when we come to church, but worship is how you live and how you interact with your friends and your family. And so when people come in, there's already this like attitude of let's go for it, let's
Yes.
worship, and I think you feel that too.
Yes.
Everybody's just ready to. Sometimes we'll start with a fast song, and sometimes we'll start with a slow song. Sometimes we'll do acoustic. Sometimes we'll do like just all the voices and no instruments. And people are so willing to go wherever we feel God is leading us to go. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So the second question is, like, from wait. When you sit down with the rest of the band, or you start wanting to write a song, what's your thought process?
Oh, that's a great question. So there's several processes. I'll give you an example. Right now, we're working on a song for The Hill. And it's called Wonders, and the idea came about because I was reading the book of Job, and there is at the end of the book of Job, Job has kind of been through this whole trial and tribulation, and then at the end, he kind of has this moment of realization and saying, God is so much bigger than me, and I've been complaining, and I've been angry and upset, and I was too. He says this line in the Message version. He says, I talked about wonders way over my head. And I read that and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to make that a song. So sometimes it'll come through scripture. And then other times there's a song I just wrote called Monuments, and it's about tearing down walls. And that came it came a while ago, but Pastor Jason is going to preach a message on walls. And so sometimes God will give me a word through what Pastor Jason is speaking. And we have an amazing team where I can go in there into the studio and say, I work with Brianna and Levi and Ezra and Nate, and I just kind of go in there and say, hey, like, I feel like this is the word, or this is a theme that I want to go with, and they are so talented that they'll just run with it, and they'll right now, Brianna's actually writing the lyrics for the song while I'm talking with you, and it was just like from this idea of wonders, right? Wonders way over my head, and I just kind of gave her that lyric, and then she just kind of does what she does, and so Ezra does an incredible job creating the music, and Levi does a fantastic job of just creating the sound and how it's going to feel. So it's just different, like it's different. Like right now we did Life Plus Love, right? That was a song that came out last, and that came from the whole Heart and Hands thing, which came from a series that Pastor Tim and Pastor Chase have been preaching on.
Yes.
So we said, well, we want to write music that's for our students about what we're talking about in service, and so that's we kind of try to be sensitive to what God is speaking to the house about.
All right.
Yeah.
So the next question will be, wait, when you guys like decide what set of songs you're going to do,
Yeah.
how does that happen? Like, is it
Ooh.
just like, that we haven't done this song in a while, or?
Yeah, it's a little bit of that, and it's a little bit of just kind of a lot of things. Really, there's a lot of factors into it. So, I meet with Pastor Tim and Pastor Chase on a weekly basis, and we talk about the week in advance. We don't talk like, for example, this Monday, we didn't talk about this Wednesday. We talked about next Wednesday, and so I asked them, hey, what are you guys preaching on? Where do you guys feel God is wanting to take this service? Are you guys wanting to do at the end, do you want to do a more responsive, like it's just quiet worship, or do you want to end big and really celebratory? And so it kind of just gives that, they give their feedback. And so I go back and I say, okay, well, these are songs that fit with their message. These are songs we haven't done in a while. These are a new song, a new song we want to introduce. So it kind of is a factor of everything. And sometimes we'll do songs that I think are great that maybe don't work. So for example, I'll just be honest. We did a song called, oh my gosh, it's the one, I forget the name of it, but you called my name and I walked out of that grave. Or I ran out of that grave. Like that one.
Oh, yes.
So we did it. I forget what it's called, but anyway, we did it, and like it just didn't go the way we wanted it to. Like it wasn't a song that you guys seem to really be like, yeah, let's do it again. So I'm sensitive to that as well, and I think that it's important to be. You guys are very much a part of what we do as worship leaders and as a worship team. So if you guys aren't responding to a song, I'm not going to keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to be sensitive to that. So there's a song you guys like more, like "Let Go." When we do "Let Go," everybody just loves that, and so I want to be sensitive to that too, as well as what Pastor Chase and Pastor Tim are preaching on, as well as what God is wanting to do in the service as well. There's songs that sometimes don't make sense, and we're like, okay, but we feel for some reason, like a couple weeks ago, Pastor Tim wanted to do "Nothing Else" by Cody Carnes, and I heard it and I was like, this just doesn't feel like a corporate song. I don't know if it's going to do really well, and we did it, and the response was, it was something that I had to step back and say, okay, like it's bigger than me. It has nothing to do with my ego or what songs I want to hear. It has to do with what God is doing in the room.
Yes, absolutely.
And so since then we've done it several times, and every time it's been amazing. So it just, you never know, Trent. Like you never know if a song's going to do really well or if it's going to do not so well. You just have to be open. That's what makes it fun. It's kind of a dance,
Yes.
So.
All right. So the final question for you today is what would you tell somebody that's either just joining or wants to join a worship band, and like what's the struggles that they might face?
So I think that's a great question. I think one of the struggles I have faced most in a worship team and joining a worship band is culture is super important. And what I mean by that is you have to be part of a team that feels like family, because we're going to have some great weeks and we're going to have some not so great weeks. And we're going to have times where we're maybe not all in agreement. We're going to have times where the leader's going to ask you to do something that maybe you're like, I don't like that song, or I don't feel like we should go this place in the service. And it's trust. It's building trust with each other and knowing that, when Pastor Chach asks me to do a song and me saying, man, I don't really feel that, but knowing that God is leading him and I have to trust him, building that culture of trust and relationship and saying, hey, like I don't maybe understand everything, but I'm gonna be obedient. The Bible talks about obedience being better than sacrifice, and so sometimes we think getting up there and just worshiping like, oh, this is a sacrifice because I'm out here, I get up early, or I get here early for practice, and this is my sacrifice for God.
Yeah.
But God is saying, no, I want you to be obedient. That's more important to me. And so I think it's having that attitude, and the other part of that is not having an ego. Like, it's not about you. Worship, I always tell this to my team, if God calls me somewhere else, or if I was to stop leading worship tomorrow, I would want the team to continue doing what they're doing and not miss a beat. I don't want them to feel like it all relies on me, because it doesn't. It's not about me. I'm a small part of what God is doing at 1910 Church.
Yes.
With the writing team as well. Like my job is to enable the next generation of worship leaders. That's why I love when, right now we have, I want to say a majority of our team is actually students that are actually joining the team. And I think that's awesome, right? It presents its own set of challenges, but I think it also allows for this to be not just us people that have been doing this for a long time, 10, 15
Yes.
years, but people that want to get into this brand new. Like it's about saying, hey, this is about relationship. This is about us working together as a team. And so, yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
See you guys in the next video. Thanks for sitting down and taking time.
Thank you for having me, man. This was fun.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye.
Bye.